The Culture Currency Show is for those who recognize that nuance is key. We don't pretend to have all the answers, but we tackle the issues that affect the majority when speaking of Black America. Our discussions are informed by the host's personal experiences and insights, and we're always open to evolving our perspective as we gain new understanding.
This is the story of two friends from the Bronx who decided to get real, be direct, and impact Black culture. Welcome to Culture Currency, where culture is the value.
Grand Rising.
Good morning. How you doing today?
I'm good.
That's what's up. How you feeling?
That's a good
Life
question
check.
because I wanted to tell you.
Okay.
So I've been taking CMOS and Bladderwrack, the combination
Good
lately.
stuff.
I have not had to take my blood pressure medicine all week, and I've been checking my blood pressure every day. You know what I mean?
Nice.
With that, I haven't had to do a lot of really no coffee. It's just because I like the taste here and there, but I don't need the coffee. So today, when I was tired, I just took time just to chill, and then went and got a little smoothie. You know what I mean? So it was like I've been,
that.
and my brain been firing. Like I've been up. I've been good. So I'm like, it's just putting the right things in your body.
That is it.
Yeah.
For sure. So today we're discussing leadership. What it is, what it looks like, how it behaves, and do we have it?
Why you ask that question? Do we have any?
Because I beg to differ.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's talk about this. Yeah, let's talk about this. That's surprising.
I'm Mahogany,
I'm Age.
and this is Culture Currency.
With culture.
Is the value. So, you said you have leadership. Who are the leaders that you see out here currently that you feel can push us forward as a culture, as a people?
Well, it's funny that you asked that because, and think about our topic, every leader that I listed is from the 1900s. But when I was thinking about leaders and leadership, I was thinking about us as people. You and I, we are leaders, and the everyday leaders, the professional leaders and stuff like that. I didn't think about the leaders who are leading our people. I can't say that I can name them. Not that they're not out there. I'm just not. Because you know what? Because leadership is things are looking so different now where people are, it's through social media. It's like social activism, so where people are just behind the screen, putting out these great videos and talking about things, but the marching in the street and stuff, that's happening. I know that's happening for real because I know a lot of people that's doing advocacy work, but I can't name a person that's leading like movements. You know what I mean? So it's a little different.
So then that takes me to, what is leadership?
There's so many things.
There's so many things.
Yeah.
But all of the things must be in attendance in order for you to actually be a leader. Like, as individuals, we can have, I'm naturally a leader, right? My person is naturally, I naturally have leadership abilities. But having leadership abilities is not the same as being a leader.
That's
right?
You got to be in action. Yeah. So what is a leader? A leader is a person that inspires people, that encourages people, that has empathy, that can listen, that transforms things. It makes a difference. They're not just.
You have to be trustworthy.
Oh, definitely trustworthy.
In order
definitely
for you
have integrity.
In order for you to lead me blindly, you'd be like, "Yo, we going this way. We doing this," without me saying like, "Why we doing that?"
Yeah, right.
What we doing this for?
Right.
I need to be able to trust that you are someone who makes good decisions, great decisions, right? Someone who is intentional, who understands the nuances and where we're going.
That's right.
Understands the destination, understands how to get there, understands all of the different activity that we're going to come in contact with on our road.
Yeah.
Right? So when you start thinking of that as leadership, how many people are actually doing that?
I feel like people are really doing it every day, but people are doing it in their own industries and their own silos. I don't know about any large movements. You know what I mean? I mean, the last large movement I know is, Black Lives Matter.
You brought up Black Lives Matter, right? And I brought up trust. And then you pay attention to some of the things that took place with Black Lives Matter. This is what I mean, right? So leadership, as you takes integrity.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So it's not something that is, oh, I'm influential. I have the ability to. You have to be a certain person for you to be able to actually wear that title and walk in that path, right? When we reach back and we speak of people like Malcolm X, yes, he had a story that wasn't clean, right? He went from one extreme to the next, and when he cleaned up, he all the way cleaned up, right? And the reason that he all the way cleaned up is because he understood that in order for me to lead people, they need to be able to trust who I am.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
So my conversation can't be different than my action.
No.
Right?
You're walking like you're talking.
And I don't see that today.
I have to agree with you. Because there's been, some folks that you and I have discussed, looked at, really respected, and then some of their background story currently is questionable. You know what I mean? So I totally understand, because in order to be a leader, like I was saying in the background, you definitely have to walk it like you talk it. It can't be a behind the scenes life. You know what I mean? You have to really wholeheartedly live what you're saying and really believe in it.
We spoke of integrity. We spoke of being trustworthy, which goes hand in hand with integrity.
Empathy.
We spoke of empathy. When I think of all that it takes to be a leader, I say it starts at home. What's your thoughts?
I 100% agree.
So I hear a lot of people, especially people of color, from our background, speaking about like, yo, we don't have leaders no more. Why we don't have leaders? And no one understands that a part of that leadership comes by way of your rearing.
Yeah.
It comes by way of principles and morale that come along with a person, right?
Right. So what are you taught at home that really builds your character? Where now you're carrying this character throughout your life, and now you may call yourself a leader, but what kind of leader are you? We can't trust you. You shiesty.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But you got these leadership abilities, but you ain't shit.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think we do have leadership out here.
Yeah,
We just don't
yeah.
have positive leadership.
Right.
We don't have leadership that we can trust to take us to the next stage of our greatness.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think like that, I mean, we always talk about the plight of the black people, but it has a lot to do with being lacking resources, being in poverty, and trying to survive.
I ain't buying that.
Wow.
Because when it comes down to it, you are who you are.
Yeah.
Right? And so all life's experience does is it reveals who you are.
Yeah.
So as things start getting tougher, as things start getting a little more drastic and tight money start getting tight, the decisions that you make are just revealing who you are at the core.
It goes back to your choices.
There are people who grow up in the hood with the same circumstances that's just not an option for you. Right? So it tells you a lot. And that's why I always speak about my story, because I always say, like, yo, a lot of myself was revealed through the struggle, and some of the things I ain't like. Some of the things I ain't like. It was like, okay, and when it gets to this level, you're willing to choose you over everybody. It's not okay, right? If I say I am leadership, I'm a person who is about the people, then when it gets rough, I got hungry. It's like, yo, I got kids to feed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course I get it, because I've been there, done that. I understand the feeling. I understand the circumstances. I understand the level of rock and hard place.
Right.
That doesn't change
The choice you have
integrity.
and integrity. You're right.
Right?
Right.
I-
But
go
I want to
ahead.
say something. So, for example, Malcolm, that was our first example. That some people evolve and grow. You learn better, you do better. So, so based on the circumstances that we're born into, sometimes we just go with the status quo. This is what's all right. This is what's accepted. But when you grow and you start to learn yourself, then you grow into how you handle things outside of what you was taught. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. When I have these discussions, I'm often speaking from a space of adulthood.
Okay.
I don't speak from the space of adolescence
When you
because
have
that
control,
is
right.
that is the area in which you are learning and figuring yourself out.
Right.
That is where you're doing all your research on you.
Right.
Right? You're getting you're in a vulnerable state where you're being sharpened or dulled.
Right.
Right? Everything is happening and you don't know who you are and you're figuring that part out.
Right,
Like, who
right.
am I?
Right,
And
right,
life
right.
is giving you that information. So I don't really, when I'm having these discussions, I'm being very intentional to speak about the adult us, because we are the ones who these young ones are following. They need a blueprint. They need leadership. They need people who are solid in self, who have integrity, who understand where we need to be going, how we need to get there, and how that's going to happen.
I'm glad you said that, and the distinction between that. Because you're right, I hope we can go through the whole, the stages, but I'm so happy you brought up the need for our young people, because it is getting very scary. Most of our kids, they want to be, they just want to be social media influencers, or they want to be gamers. And so it's getting a little scary about where our leaders of tomorrow will be, based on what they're seeing today, because everybody's so thirsty to be the cutest thing, the flyest thing. And then this and that, where it looks like, we're not teaching our young people what priorities look like, what life looks like, because all they're looking at all day on TikTok are reels of people's, flashy lives.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I beat the word principles into everyone's head every episode and in my real life, is because that is the foundation of everything we're speaking about, right? If we're talking about our young people having the ability to see beyond the glitz and glamour, they need to have something to filter through. Those principles is that. We have a bunch of young people who are just seeing value in money.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
And,
Right.
and not just value in money, right? Value in attention.
Value and attention.
And
Right.
so
Doing
what
anything
gets
you
us
can.
that?
Right.
Right? Those of us who are principle driven, who are solid in morale, we're not the ones put on pedestals. We're not the ones who are looked up to and admired. It has to look a certain. It has to have a certain amount of money. And that messaging in itself is what creates what you're speaking of. When it comes down to your morals and your principles, those things need to be displayed in the house. I've heard experts speak about the importance of your kids seeing you affectionate
Right.
as parents.
Yeah.
Got together in
Right.
the house. Like, some people would think, oh, we don't want to be doing stuff in front
Right,
of our
good
kids.
point.
We're not looking for you to be sexual. in front of
Right,
your
right,
kids.
right.
They need to
Look
see
at
the
faces.
affection.
Right.
They need to see that y'all fond of each other.
Yes.
Like y'all like to be close.
Right.
Different things like that. Because it changes how they operate in relationships and how
Absolutely.
they see relationships. That goes for your principles and your morals too.
Right.
Right. The things that you stand on, the things that you stand against. Right. The things that you're like, yo, I ain't with that at all. Like, that don't happen around here.
Right. Like my mother. She always said, if you can lie, you can steal. You can lie, you can steal. I don't trust no liars and no thieves. And she really stood by that. And she said it all the time. And then I remember one time I had a bag of chips from the store across the street. I went upstairs. I said, oh, Mom, I forgot to pay for this. She made me go back downstairs and pay for it. But the whole point is that if she let me keep the bag of chips, that was the
Telling you-
whole
she's
message.
telling you it's okay to
Like, it's all right, whatever. Don't even worry about that.
And the same with my mom. Right? My mother was really, really like adamant about like where your money comes from. I don't. If your money came from something that she didn't agree with, I don't care if she didn't have a dime. She's not taking
she
a
don't want
dollar
that money.
from you.
She's like, I don't want that money. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not-
dirty money is not good money.
Got it.
And as you can see, I have that in me.
Right.
Like, I do not believe that all money is
It's
good
good
money.
money.
So that's very important that we're making sure that we're mindful of those things with our children,
Right.
because leadership starts in our house, right? And our family is our first business.
Yeah.
Right? How we operate, if we're understanding that we already have our code of ethics, which is our principles, right?
We have our culture in the house.
This is how things go in here.
That's right.
This is how we operate. This
Right.
is the hierarchy.
Yeah.
it goes from, you know, parent to older sibling too. You know what I mean? They need to understand these things.
Right.
And when you're not showing up for your task,
Right.
there are consequences, right? If you're operating your house from that standpoint,
Right.
everybody is getting pretty much a nice roundabout understanding of not just business,
Right.
leadership.
Yeah.
They're getting leadership,
Teamwork.
They're getting teamwork. They're getting choices.
Management.
They're getting integrity.
Yeah.
They're understanding the necessity of the foundation of principles.
Yes.
And having a code that you live
That's
by.
right. Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah, and the things that what the boundaries are and all of that. Like for example, the other day, me and Tree came home. It was dishes in the sink. This small amount of dishes, like a plate and a bowl and like 2 glasses. Why is that still in the sink?
Yeah, easily.
Why is it there? You was here all day. Baby girl's there all day. Why did you? So my thing is, I don't. Your mom like, watch this. My thing is the lesson. So I'm like, listen, we're a team in here. If we're working all day, you know what I mean, and making sure that you have everything you need, is the food that you ate on those plates and all that. We have to operate as a team. So as one of our teammates, make sure that when we come home, things are straightened up. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do.
Our job is to make each other's life lighter.
The lighter.
Right. And when somebody is not on task, it falls on everyone else.
Exactly.
And so that's very important.
Yeah. But back to your point though. What are we doing as the adults of this time to make sure that we have leaders for tomorrow? How are we all contributing to that? We have made no real strides or made any improvements in our communities without leadership. You need leaders to help get everyone else on board so we can move on the same accord. What are we doing to make sure that we have some leaders for tomorrow? What are we all doing?
I understand that everyone leads in specific areas sometimes, but when we're talking about leaders for the culture, leaders to show an example of what life is supposed to look like for us moving forward, gaining a certain level of quality of life, right? We got to be mindful, man. I know for me, I am constantly editing myself. And when I say editing myself, I'm fine-tuning. I show up as I tell others to show up. And I'm constantly learning, so I'm constantly making sure that every time I show up that much more profound.
Right.
I speak to young people. I speak to parents. I guide. And I make sure that I'm giving information that changes things in a positive way. That's a part of us creating culture currency. That's a part of the Oliver Legacy Academy.
Right.
That's a part of Dream. Is focusing on the shortcomings that we have as a people so that we can lead each other in a right direction, because everybody's talking about this evolution, but evolving means to get better. It doesn't mean we're moving forward worse.
Right.
That's not evolution.
Right. That's not evolution. We're moving forward worse. It's crazy. You know, I had to get another vehicle. And today I had to hook it up and do something through my phone. So I opened the glove compartment and the sticker is there. And I'm like, oh, so I'm reading the sticker of the car. And it says the amount of emissions that comes out of the car. It says 384 emissions per quarter mile or something like that. And it says an efficient car has 0. And it says emissions has a significant effect on global warming. And I'm like, I don't want this shit. It's like I'm like, yo, so as the leader, the adults of today, like we need to understand what's going on around us. And we need to operate accordingly, because I'm like, yo, this is making me second guess driving around. Because I mean, you know it, you hear it, but when you're a part of it, and you know every time you press that gas is, you know what I mean?
Feel a responsibility.
And then what we're doing now is going to affect everybody tomorrow. You know what I mean? So just having, just feeling those sense of responsibilities and making the right choices and figuring it out.
And it's good that you're thinking like that.
Yeah.
Because, that's what I mean by not being a soloist in mentality.
Right.
Like,
right.
There's people, when we're gone, we want to leave this better than we have it.
Exactly.
Right? We want the people who are here after us to have something to take forward. It's like passing a baton.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to be Sha'Carri Richardson now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are important discussions.
So the aha moment I had about these emissions coming out of my vehicle, and as I was driving, I said, well, what if I stop driving? I was like, all these cars, but that's not about that. Because if we think like that, whereas I'm not going to make this change because nobody else is. They'll never get anywhere.
Happy you made
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
That's right.
So there's points where if I could take a train or I could take a bus or something like that, I'm going to do that. Like, you know what? Let's just go on the train and do this because every little bit counts and every little bit adds up to something else. You know what I mean? So, yeah, just think like that. That's all.
Yeah, I had a recent discussion about that point. Somebody was like, well, they doing stuff to our air, they doing stuff to our water. What's the point of eating all clean? And like, you could die the same way this person could die. I'm like, I don't think we even yoked
Right.
to even have this discussion.
Right, exactly.
So
Yo.
I'm just gonna kill myself
Right.
because other people are trying to kill me.
Right. Yo, hold up. My godson says this. When I had got cancer or whatever, he was like, "Oh, mommy, I would never thought you." He said, "See, you doing all that healthy eating, and look what still happened." I said, "But guess what? I was able to get my treatment right away. I didn't have to treat another ailment before I got treatment." And some people have to. You got all these other issues. You can't even get chemo. You can't even get that pill. You can't even start that because you got to work through the other shit that you caused to yourself,
People look for excuses not to do the right thing.
not to do the right thing.
And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Leaders do not do that. Leaders
Right.
do not look for excuses
Nah.
not to do the right thing.
That's right. They
Yeah.
they find all the ways they can do the right thing to bring people with them. And then I also want to bring up the difference between leadership and bosses, because I can't follow a boss. You're not gonna boss me around. Some people look at leadership as an excuse to be disrespectful. You know what I mean? And make people feel lower than you and all of this kind of stuff.
Well, that's not
because you have-
leadership.
Exactly.
That's not leadership.
Right.
So if you come in contact with somebody who was in a leadership position, but they took advantage of their positioning, that's not what leaders do.
Nah.
So although they're in a leadership position, when we started this discussion, we started it off from a standpoint of you can have the ability
Right.
of a leader.
Right.
Doesn't make you a leader.
Doesn't make you a leader.
All of the things need to be in attendance for you to be.
Right. And we're in desperate need of it, man. I'm really happy that we do have these different podcasts and we do have, the resource of social media when it's used properly, where we have more access to information and people. But we do need to be very, very conscious about what we're doing about tomorrow and how we wrap these kids around.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
I feel like we gave them all of the information of what's necessary to show up correctly in leadership. But is there anything specific you would like to leave them with?
I would just always remember, if you ever have the opportunity to be in a leadership position, that leaders help inspire, encourage, and help other people advance.
Leadership isn't about you, but it is about you. And when I say that, I mean that the point of it is to be of service of the whole. But in order to be of service of the whole, you have to focus on making sure that you are solid enough in the areas that we discussed to be that.
Do you feel that, like, as a leader, you should take care of home first?
Absolutely. Home always comes first. The same way self comes first. And when we say that, that is not from a standpoint of, and for everybody else, I'm doing me.
Right.
It's more about your foundation. Self is the foundation. That is what everything stands on. Family is the foundation. That's what everything stands on. In order for you to be impactful outward, you have to be impactful inward.
Right.
And so family must be taken care of. If I can't do right by my family, how am I
Right.
doing right by anyone else?
Right.
So even in my life, when we're having these discussions, my thing is health, the health of our people, right? And I've been saying that since day one. But I also make sure that I'm being very clear that I've started with me,
Right.
and then from me went
Right.
to my family,
Right.
and I'm still working on my family,
Yeah.
as I'm simultaneously working here, right? Your backyard needs to be clean before you start telling everybody else their backyard needs to be clean.
Right. Exactly. And I'm saying that because we get so caught up in, a lot of times get so caught up in helping everyone else, that we tend to forget about our home and forget about our foundation.
That part is what we discussed in our love song conversation. There is an order of which things should take place. And if you are doing it right, then you understand what the love snobs are saying by saying, oh, your people should be a part of the process of your new person, right? It's checks and balances. If I'm making great choices with the people I'm bringing into my circle, then I trust that they make great choices. Which, when I am maybe too smitten to see things, or I have a blind spot, they should be able to say, yo, you don't see this?
Right.
This ain't right.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so that, bringing it back to this conversation, that's what this thing is level.
Right.
So you take care of self, take care of home, and then you're able to actually utilize the same tools that you polish inward and in your family
And bring
for
it
the outside.
for the outside world. Just thinking about leadership, right? One thing is that, we have laws, we have rules and things of that nature. So, of course, as a leader, you must also be able to follow. But one thing that leaders don't do is just follow law because it's law. Or don't just follow the rules because it's rules. It's about ethics first. You know what I mean? So that's why some leaders may look like, oh, they're, troublemakers and he's doing these things. Yes, we are. Because you know why? This is some bullshit that y'all doing. This is unjust. This is not okay. And leaders lead people to fight against that thing. I don't care if it's the law. I don't care if it's the law of the land. It's not right.
Absolutely.
So leadership is about ethics, like you're saying.
Absolutely. Right and wrong at the end of the day.
Yep.
Of course, when you're in a system, there's certain laws you have to abide by. But if those laws go against your code of ethics,
Right.
that's the time you will see me
Step out.
Step out.
Yeah, we're not following these. Yeah.
I love that you brought that
Yeah.
up. That was good.
Yeah. I knew you would.
I'm Mahogany,
I'm Age.
and this is Culture Currency.
But culture,
Is the value.
make sure to like,
Subscribe
comment,
and share.
and